Remember guys, to show appreciation to the brave people who post these stories by going to their story and upvoting their story that I have linked down below. Hello everyone, Sweeps is back again with another story to tell you all. You know, D&D is a very good game to meet new people and get closer to your friends that you already have. In my own experiences, chemistry with other players can open up to each other, and so far it's been positive in my experience. But sometimes people will take this a bit too far. For example, you got people who try to pick up a significant other at the table, which is a recipe for disaster most of the time, since most people won't get to know you, rather they'll get to know the character you're playing, and that's not a good thing to do. Or in the case of today's story, people will insert others into their own drama.
Good morning, campers!
Today's story is called The Couple That Almost Made Me Quit D&D by Blade Master Fedora. M'lady. Hey everyone. I decided to share one last RPG horror story from my LGS with you. For those of you who haven't read my other stories, I used to DM at a local gaming store whose owner was and still is a really good friend of mine. I met a bunch of really great friends there, but also some really toxic people. From Karens to toxic D-bags. The characters for this story, names changed to protect the innocent of course. Jimmy, that guy. Tina, his girlfriend. Yours truly. This story can be divided into two parts, in a game and out of game. Also, trigger warning for domestic abuse.
Say what?
Part 1, in game. Beware, slight spoilers for Baldur's Gate, Descent into Avernus. It all started in 2019. I was running Curse of Strahd at the LGS. Ooh, dude, I'm running Curse of Strahd right now for my group! Wicked! A guy named Jimmy showed up at the store and wanted to play in the campaign. Since this was an open table, I told him that if he could write up a level 7 character, he was good to go, which he did. It might have been the most power-gamed hexblade I've ever seen in my life. He actually managed to crit the boss of the dungeon to death. In October, I decided to run Descent to Avernus since it was a new campaign and the store owner wanted to do a promotion. Jimmy also took part in that campaign. He decided to play a lawful good, important later, knowledge cleric, human variant, with lucky feet. At a later part in the campaign, he also took a luck stone for himself. After a few sessions, we arrived in the Nine Hells. The group ran into an imp trying to scam a halfling for his soul. Jimmy takes the stage. He attacked the imp and threatened him with death, since that is permanent in the Nine Hells, so he forced the imp to serve him, which he did, only if he signed away his soul. I took note of all that for later. After that, they went into a cathedral. Right in the middle of the cathedral is a glowing greatsword that is lying on a sarcophagus with a very obvious religious meaning for inhabitants. His character straight up stole it, without even batting an eye. Lawful good, remember? The sword was important for the plot later, but at that point his character didn't know that. His justification? His character is fascinated by everything divine, so he just wanted to save the sword from the devils. Oh, so it's what my character would do! Great. Keep this in mind for later, because to me it seemed like he wanted to get a magic item before anyone else in the group could. So at this point, our lawful good cleric had already bullied a lesser devil into serving him and committed grave robbery. After a few more sessions, it also became very obvious that Jimmy had main character syndrome. He was a stage hog, not helped by the fact that all the other players in the group were D&D newbies and a bit shy. He also started telling players, especially the wizard, how to play their characters, so his character would be more powerful. So he basically saw the group as his support and nothing more.
And since you're all tied up at the moment, I mean, really? All of you? Embarrassing. Anyway, I guess it's up to me to save the day.
It's a deadly combination, main character syndrome, and that's what my character would do. For those who don't know, which, hey, I'm just covering my bases and breaking up the story for a little bit so I can make the video a little longer. Hey, I may be a cute robot with hair that changes color, but I'm still a YouTuber at heart. Comes with the territory. Anyway, main character syndrome is a feat that isn't just taken in D&D, but in real life as well. These are characters and people who will insert themselves into the spotlight and make things all about them. In the case of D&D, when a player or DM will try to insert their character as the leader as if they were a video game character. Newsflash, you are not Ichiban Kasuga. You are not the main character of a cooperative game like D&D. The best way to solve main character syndrome is to talk to the player and tell them about this sort of issue. After all, the player character is going to act like they're the biggest badass in all the land and try to control what the other players need to do. The DM needs to shut that down immediately. After all, the DM is God, and God can smite anyone. A few sessions later, the group met a pit fiend. Jimmy instantly went to bartering mode. He wanted Bell to give him the knowledge of a spell not on the cleric list. He tried to get that by persuading the pit fiend to give it to him without signing a soul contract. I told him he could try, but it wouldn't work anyway. He rolled a 27 and got pissed at me for still trying to deny him this one spell. I told him if he wanted that spell so bad, he could multi-class. He also didn't want to do that. I also told him that he already had a soul contract with the imp, which he firmly and aggressively denied. No, he had not signed a soul contract. The imp is serving him because he bullied him into it. Yes, he actually said that. Anywho, Jimmy got pissed because the persuasion check wasn't mind control. At the end of the campaign, he wanted the powerful artifact the players can get for himself, not even asking if any other players wanted it. He started to really annoy me in the game, but I still kept him around since out of game he was very nice. Hi, interrupting again, but I feel like this is a little weird. Now, I'm not discounting OP's claims here. I actually believe him, but I do need to ask these issues were brought up to Jimmy outside of the game. Communication is the greatest weapon a DM can have, and not just in the game as well, but out of it. I do need to ask if there was an attempt to talk to Jimmy about his playing style and if the other players expressed this level of frustration that OP is talking about. I understand that they were newbies, but that can't mean that they weren't frustrated with it, can it? Granted, he says he talked to Jimmy about it later in the story, but at that point a player is just making excuses for their annoying behavior. It'd probably be time to cut them from the game even if they are nice. Part 2. Out of Game Trouble. During the time we played the campaign, I also met Jimmy's girlfriend, Tina. She told me Jimmy is always insanely competitive no matter what it be. Board games, pen and paper, or friggin' fussball table soccer. The way she said it, I think she found it endearing, but who am I to judge? A few weeks after that meeting Tina, the pandemic starts. Jimmy loses his job and starts drinking more than usual. He also stops looking for a new job. At that point, his day only consists of drinking beer, smoking weed, and obsessively reading anything 5e related. Well, that's not a bad sign at all. We continue playing the store campaign online. The weirdest part during this, Tina would sometimes call me, just to bitch about her love life. Mind you, at this point, I only met this woman twice. Yeah, that's not a bad sign either. Since I thought Jimmy was my friend, I thought to myself that being supportive is okay. Big mistake! After finishing Descent to Avernus, I want to start Dragon Heist. 10 minutes before the campaign starts, Tina calls me. She is very drunk and sobbing. She tells me that she and Jimmy broke up, but I get the feeling from her tone that something is off. 3 sessions into the campaign, Jimmy and I still hung around the Discord just to chat. Tina came into his room and started yelling. Wait, if they were broken up, why was Tina still there? I could hear all of it. The most dramatic thing I heard was Tina yelling, "I'm going to call OP and tell him that you are a psycho!" During this time, I get sent voicemails. Again, more love life problems, and one where she basically says her boyfriend is cheating on her with DnD. She was dead beeping serious. I wish I was making this up.
I wonder if a fall from this height would be enough to kill me.
A few weeks later, she called me after a period of radio silence. I told her that I am really worried about Jimmy. I thought that he was living a very unhealthy lifestyle mentally and physically. I also told her that his playstyle actually makes me and the group have less fun playing. And yes, I have communicated the D&D stuff to him as well, but he refused to hear any of it, saying that it's just the way he is. This entire situation got me so pissed off that I decided to quit Dragon Heist campaign after 5 sessions. I also had enough of the D&D in general and almost quit. Fast forward to August 2020, Jimmy calls me and tells me he had a big fight with Tina. She told him all the stuff I told her in confidence, but she twisted it around to make me seem shitty. Basically, he said, "Tina said you called me a pedantic drunkard, and that is the reason why I'm not playing D&D with him anymore." I told him exactly what I told her, that I am worried. He said I shouldn't worry. The next day, I actually realized how shitty the entire situation was. They dragged me into their toxic relationship, treated me like a dear Abby, and pulled me right into the middle of their fights. So I decided to cut them out, block them, and start an entirely new group. We have been playing for almost 2 years now. The one good thing that came out of this, Jimmy taught me the importance of saying no! End of story. Yeah, that was a bit of a turn. Certainly wasn't expecting there to be crazy set in this story. Honestly, this is becoming more of an issue with TTRPGs that I've been diving into these stories on Reddit. And while the girlfriend drama didn't come to the table itself, it's really messed up to drag people into couple drama. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't reach out to get advice, but this situation is just messed up with how it went. Regardless, with the story told and in the databanks, thanks for watching. I'm Sweeps, and if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. The usual YouTuber jazz. Have a great day!